Hi guys, welcome to my channel. My name is Nomadic Timbo, and today I'm going to talk to you about 6 ways solo traveling can help your personal development. So, let's get going. Number 1, you gain more confidence. I can tell you from experience that I used to be a super shy individual. Like when I was a kid, or maybe even when I was like into my teens and like part of my early 20s, I used to be so shy and maybe lacking in confidence at times. Don't get me wrong, I mean, I had like a few friends and we went out like every weekend to party and stuff like that, so I was still having a good time. But then I just thought to myself, I just need a change. I just need a change. And then I just had the idea to go to Australia for 1 year. When I mentioned it to some family and friends, you know, some of them were saying, I don't know if it's a good idea, I don't know if you can do this and stuff like that. And then, I mean, of course, that's on top of the hurdles that you might create in your head, which might prevent you from doing something like that. I'm so glad that I did. And I can tell you one thing, guys, if you have the courage in order to go solo traveling alone when you've never done it before, then that's immediately going to boost your confidence. And then with whatever experiences that you have on top of that, with the people that you meet, the things that you end up doing and the places that you end up seeing and overcoming so many like different hurdles in different countries, then yeah, it's going to put you in a really good position personally as a result. So yeah, that's number 1. Number 2, you meet and make friends with people from all over the world. I love experiencing different architecture, different food, different cultures, different landscapes and stuff like that, different languages. But I have to say, as amazing as all of those things are, I think probably my favorite thing about solo traveling are the people that you meet, because you meet so many amazing people from all over the world. It's just insanely easy to become really good friends with them, because like if you end up staying in hostels, for example, you find out that you're on the same wavelength with a lot of them, or like a good 90% of them, I would say. When you meet people from around the world and become friends with them, then it's so easy, particularly if you stay in contact on social media, to actually end up meeting them in their countries, or them meeting you in your country, or even just meeting in different parts of the world in general. And like, for example, if you do end up going to meet them in their country, then you meet their local friends as a result, and then you make even more connections then. So yeah, and who knows, it might even open up opportunities. Certainly did for me. I mean, I'll go into more detail about that in one of my other points. Yeah, it's a fantastic way to meet people from around the world, and you know, you just hear about so many fascinating things. So yeah, it's a good one. Number 3, it can improve your social skills. I mean, this kind of coincides with confidence levels, as I mentioned on the first point. One of the great things about solo traveling is that, you know, you get thrown into all kinds of social environments, whether it's like a one-to-one, a small group, or a big group of people, and you just naturally really blend in and become comfortable in all kinds of environments. I mean, there's introverts and there's extroverts and there's somewhere in between. I mean, I think of myself as somewhere in between, but I can tell you guys that, you know, it doesn't matter whether you're introvert or extrovert or something in between, as long as you just end up being yourself, you are going to fit in with, you know, the right people. As I mentioned in the first point, you just develop so much more confidence, and you're much more willing to break the ice because you just get used to meeting people on such a regular basis. And if you're willing to break the ice, then obviously that shows that you're taking an interest in people. That's automatically going to improve your social skills and conversational skills as well. So yeah, that's another good one. Number 4, it can make you a better listener. I think, I don't know about you guys, but I think we're all guilty sometimes of being in a conversation. I know I've definitely been guilty of it in the past, not so much nowadays. You could easily end up in a conversation with another person, and yeah, sure, you let them have their say, but sometimes that doesn't necessarily mean that you are taking on board what they are saying, and that's not a nice habit to be in. So I think, like, you know, one of the other great things about traveling alone and just meeting people from around the world is that you hear about so many fascinating stories that they come up with, and so many crazy stories, which I won't go into detail about with some of them right here, because they're all relatively interesting, depending on, you know, no matter what subject or topic it is that they're talking about. You just get into like a really good habit of just taking a step back and just allowing people to have their say, and not only that too, but taking on board what they're saying as well. And you end up asking a lot of questions about them. I mean, you don't want to make it sound like you're interviewing them or something. You just get into like a very nice habit, it's like a natural kind of interest in what it is that they do, or what they're doing, or what they're going to do. And as a result, yeah, you just end up being a better person. And of course, if you end up being a better person to be around, then that's going to get you to make even more friends as a result. So yeah, that's another benefit about solo traveling with personal development, is that it definitely makes you become a really good listener. Number 5, you become more open-minded and adventurous. Okay. I must have been a little, no, I wouldn't say like a nightmare, but I must have been hard work for my parents at times, because there were many occasions where they tried to get me to try some food that I'd never tried for the first time. And I just refused to do it when I was a kid. So I must have been a little bit of head work, to say the least. I can tell you from experience that like when you go to many different countries, you're kind of forced to eat whatever local cuisines are around. And not only have I ended up eating all of them, I just ended up thoroughly enjoying them. So now, as a result, I'm willing to try anything. And I can definitely say that more than 80% of the time I end up liking what I try when it comes to food. And not only that too, but if you take like cooking classes, for example, or you just take in some recipes that people tell you about regarding cuisines of whatever country it is that you go into, then it makes you become a better cook. And yeah, I think we can all agree that's a really good skill to have, definitely. The other thing as well is that I said it makes you become more adventurous as well as open-minded, but yeah, you just end up trying like so many different activities that you may not think about trying before. At least it was like that with me when I was before I started solo traveling. I used to be very, and this is the confidence factor again. I used to be very reluctant to try out new things or new activities, because I just felt that it just didn't feel right at the time. But now I'm willing to give so many different things a try. Not everything, admittedly, but like a good 90% plus of things that I come across. And man, you feel so good about yourself when you do that, because as a result you end up having a blast with like pretty much all new activities that you end up trying. And I know people actually, when I went to Thailand, like Koh Tao in particular, they were doing scuba diving courses, and they enjoyed it so much they kept on doing it, not only as a leisure activity, but some people even became diving instructors as a result, so they made a proper career out of it. So yeah, you could actually end up leading to a really, really fun career, as well as like a fun activity to add to your repertoire. And for me personally, when I tried surfing for the first time, and this is partly my fault, well, definitely my fault, I should say. I didn't have any lessons, so when I tried surfing for the first time, I was really like a fish out of the water. So no, I'm really, really glad that I gave it a go. It's actually turned into it is my favorite activity that I do now. I mean, I love a wide variety of activities, but surfing is number one now, I would say. And so yeah, I'm really glad that I tried it out. And again, before I was solo traveling, I may not have tried it. Yeah, really glad I did. And now it's my favorite activity. And yeah, I'm just keeping on improving as I go now, which is fantastic. Number 6, you become more independent. And this one is mega, mega important, because again, like a bad habit I used to get into when I was younger, and I still get into it now and again, but nowhere near as much as what I used to, was I used to be a people pleaser. If there were certain activities that were going on, I would kind of always follow the crowd. And don't get me wrong, I mean, I had some amazing times as a result, but some other times I was thinking, I'm not too sure if I really want to do this deep down. So the great thing about traveling alone is that, well, I mean, even though I mentioned you get to meet people from all over the world very easily, there are times where you are alone. I'm not saying it's for a large percentage of the time, but it does happen. So you become more comfortable in your own company when it comes to trying out new activities. I mean, you find out sometimes that not everybody's going to be up for it, or sometimes nobody's going to be up for it. Or at least they've already experienced it and they don't want to do it again, which is fine. There's no problem at all. But for me, I just got into a really good habit of trying out new things just by myself alone, and I never regretted any of them. That automatically puts you into a more independent, mind frame, so to speak. yeah, you're just more than comfortable with just doing your own thing and not following the herd when you don't want to. I mean, don't get me wrong, it's wonderful to share experiences with, well, like a romantic partner or like just another person in general, or a small group of people or a big group of people. But if nobody's going to be up for it, don't be afraid to just do it by yourself, because even if you do it by yourself, if it's something that you really, really want to do or really want to try, then you end up having a blast anyway, and you get to meet even more people as a result, because it might involve some other people that you never met before, and that's another few people that you can connect with and socially interact with. It just gives you like a really good independent kind of frame of mind, and yeah, that's only a good thing for sure, because at the end of the day, guys, we all have to have like self-respect and self-love, and being more independent is the best way that you can progress into that kind of mind, into that kind of spirit, I guess, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I'll wrap it up there, and thank you so much for watching, and yeah, don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. It'd be really, yeah, guys, I mean, it'd be really appreciated if you can do that, and yeah, so stay safe, particularly during these very strange times with COVID, and yeah, I'll see you again soon.